My partner is deceased. Who's my partner? I don't have a partner because Creator 8 is the enemy of myself to itself. It doesn't know me, it doesn't understand me, it doesn't really want to be close to myself except that it wants full identity thieving with itself. It wants to be comfortable, it doesn't want to go to jail or prison, it doesn't want to die in God because it doesn't believe in God, because it believes in itself and its keys and its high speed traffic, and it doesn't know how to die out of high speed traffic. It wants to just die, like fall asleep and don't wake up, or shun and you don't know where you are and you don't come back. That's what Creator 8 wants. I don't have a partner in that. The crime is all of it against myself. I don't know why you don't acknowledge that. You ask me if I want to say if I have a boyfriend, but you don't acknowledge that I would say everybody who's not myself is against myself. I don't have anything in it with somebody else. They would say that about me. Well, that's not true that you have that paid for. The strangers don't have that paid for. When GERI said Charles Toad died, I said something. And then I said, I heard you say Charles Toad died, and that is against myself to hear that from you. And now I don't want to say it that way because it's homeless. It's really against itself to know who he is and where he is anyway. She wanted to walk me to the office and call the coroner's office and have a phone call with them and myself so they could tell me Charles Toad died. And I was wondering how she's so confident that the coroner's office would talk to me. I'm not really calling them. Don't you think that's not fair? If it was a police dispatcher, what would the dispatcher say? Charles Toad died? No, you call the coroner's office, and the coroner's office says, we know who Charles Toad's dead body is. He's right here. Charles Toad died. That's the illegal coroner's office. The coroner is due inside of a prison upstate Nevada. And how did Charles Toe end up in upstate Nevada when he was here in Las Vegas not too long ago? Was he there alive and he went to upstate Nevada? Or he died and they put his body in upstate Nevada in a prison because it was a dead body and he needed a coroner in a prison? Is that how you get into prison? You become a dead body and then they put you in a prison with a coroner in a prison. That's so funny that you're not threatening anyone anymore. How come you're not in a prison and then you need a coroner when you're in a prison because you had a problem in there and you need a death? The coroners are around the police and traffic is really not helping. I would say that in Jerry's defense, but why is she saying that there is a coroner's office and she's not there? Well, I wasn't in the coroner's office when she said it. No. I would like to decease the coroner's office, and I'll have to do that by deceasing the door locking. Again, that's Jerry on the telephone with the coroner's office, and I have to decease the door locking. That means that Jerry doesn't afford to use the telephone. She doesn't afford that the service is always in service. The telephone service is always in service. She doesn't afford that. It's been that way my whole life. Who else didn't afford it? Charles Cho has a set of keys out there with a photo ID with his address and his picture on it. And the address is this address where I am right here. So they have a set of keys outside the door, don't know where. And Jerry in the office says she has a set of keys for this door. And I have a set of keys is only because the police gave them back to me. Otherwise, the police had the set of keys, but they didn't keep them. Why, if the police don't keep the keys, why does Jerry keep the keys and charge rent? What is she doing for the police exactly? And she doesn't wear a uniform and a gun. Well, she calls them like she has a uniform, but she doesn't have a uniform on. Mostly when I see her, I've never seen her in a police uniform. So who's the dispatcher? Is that crime floating around in society that the caller is being described as the dispatcher? If I call a police officer who is a dispatcher and that police officer doesn't send somebody else, that means they have to go and say that they were the dispatcher. That means the dispatcher is supposed to answer the call and not the police. If I call a police dispatcher, the dispatcher is supposed to answer the call and come to the address if they want to. Otherwise, if they're just taking a statement, why are they sending anyone to check the address? If they don't want you to call again, they should unhook and dial 911, but they're still there. Well, I don't follow. Where is this going? The creation of my soul is deceased at this point. I don't have that I would take the body and be a soul in my small body, being aged 3, 4, 5. It was a soul around then. And right now I'm aged 48. And I am the soul of the superior founder deceased, which means I don't have alive as the child at that time. It's not a child because I am myself, the order, but the children are formed after myself. And I am not holding that I was that small in this world. That means I have all the children in deceasement, even though I can see some of them outside the front door still recently. There's something wrong with that you don't know who you are mentally, that you're relying on yes and no to what you hear, and whether or not it's in your favor from your point of view or not. And if you're in God, which way to yourself, including if you have a legal alive, that's very complicated, thick problem. I don't know how to help you with that because you don't say yes to God of alive. That's what you're due to say yes to. That's why yes is itself. Yes is alive. Alive is for yes. It's how your body holds alive. It's how alive is alive. It's what motion alive is doing for yourself. Yes, air conditioning and plumbing. Thank you. Yes, exclamation mark, exclamation point, air conditioning and plumbing here in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's not always true, but there is a company that's doing that right now. That's been going on for a number of years, at least about 13 years. Yeah, 14 years maybe. 13 years, let's say that.